Stop broadcast. Okay. Cool, that was fun. So, if information wants to be free, what does that mean to you when you screw up? It means that you can't hide it anymore. It means that someone is going to find out, and it means that you have only one option. When you screw up, which you're going to do, by the way, own it and get in front of it. If you own the problem and fix the problem as it's happening, you will become beloved. You will turn haters into lovers. There is no greater lover in the world than a former hater. Think about when you were on a flight and something got screwed up and then they went out of their way to fix it. Or you're in a restaurant and they screwed up your order and they gave you a free dessert, whatever it is. Oh wow, that was so nice of them. All of a sudden, you're a loyalist. You're going to screw up. When you do, get in front of it and own it. And when you own it, the whole world will know, hey, they're honest, they're true, I can trust them. Trust has to be at the core of everything you do in the social and global sphere because that's all we have. We live in a world where we expect not to trust people. We expect people are going to lie to us. If you can prove that you're trustworthy, especially when you screw up, people will love you. So, own it. Transparency. And to give you an idea of how transparency works, I'm going to give you a great story. Who's from New York? All right. So, on one end of the spectrum, you have a guy named Elliot Spitzer. Okay. On the other end of the spectrum, you have a guy named Anthony Weiner. In the middle, you have me, who's like 7 years old and just loves going Spitzer Weiner, Spitzer Weiner. Okay. So, Elliot Spitzer, governor of New York. He was going to be the next mayor. I'm sorry, he was going to be the next president. When he screwed up, he was having sex with the very people that he was supposed to be putting in jail. He stepped down from office, and within 2 days he was out of the country and you could not find him. Mark my words, $100 as I stand here, he will be back in elected office in 5 years. He owned it, he said, I screwed up, I'm out of here, see ya, came back a year later, held a CNN show, he'll be back in office. On the other side, you have Anthony Weiner. For those not from New York, you should know Anthony Weiner is going to be the next mayor of New York. This is not a question, this is not a statement, this is a fact. He was going to be the next mayor of New York, it's not opinion. He had the backing, he had good looks, he had a hot wife, he had Hillary Clinton behind him, he was going to be the next mayor, he had the money. All he had to do was not screw it up. When he sent out those tweets, all he had to do was get on the stage and say, you know what, my bad, I was trying to have some sexy time with my wife, and I don't know how to use the Twitter, and we would have made fun of him in New York City, would have laughed at him for 8 hours, as is required by law. But then, he'd be mayor. Instead, he owned that, he left that shit open for 8 weeks. 8 weeks! By the 3rd week, he's like, oh, I must have been hacked. I believe I was hacked. When he gave that press conference saying he was hacked, I was in the green room of Fox News about to go on the O'Reilly Factor, standing next to Geraldo Rivera of all people. And my first thought is, okay, so they hacked your zipper. I don't know how they did that. Then I turned to Geraldo and I go, you know, this is bullshit. No one knew who he was 3 weeks ago. He was not important enough to get hacked. There was no way in hell he was hacked. And Geraldo goes, oh, that's really an interesting point, Peter. And he fixes his makeup. And then Geraldo goes out to do the A block on O'Reilly, and I was scheduled to do the C block. And I'm sitting there, and Geraldo goes out, and Bill O'Reilly says, Geraldo, what do you think about this press conference you said? You think it was hacked? And Geraldo goes, you know, Bill, I've been giving this a lot of thought. I don't think it was important enough to get hacked. I'm in the green room going, douche! So, yeah, he comes back, he's like, what'd you think? I'm like, asshole, really? So Geraldo steals content. I want to put that out there. You know, brand what you do, right? So Geraldo steals content. But at the end of the day, all Anthony Weiner had to do was admit it, and he'd be the next mayor. And today he'll be lucky to be the most popular history professor at the University of Arkansas. Own your mistakes. That's transparency. That's rule 1. Rule 2 is the concept of relevance.